Assalamu alaikum students. How are you grades? I hope you are doing well at your homes. I'm your online teacher for the subject of biology. And today we are going to start our lecture number 13. And today our topic of discussion is cellular organizations. And you know that in our previous lectures we have studied about the different level of organizations. And we have start our discussion from subatomic level, and then we will move towards the biosphere level, and we have a detailed discussion about it with the help of a diagram. Now we will move towards the cellular organizations. So students, in cellular organizations we will study about how many types of cells are present in living organisms and how many numbers of the cells are present in organisms. So students, we will deal with the type and the number of the cells in this lecture. All the organisms have been divided into 5 major groups. Okay students, all the organisms are divided into 5 major groups, and the names of these groups are prokaryotes, protists, fungi, plants and animals. Now I am repeating the 5 major groups. One is prokaryotes, second one is protists, third one is fungi, fourth one is plant, and fifth one is animals. So students, prokaryotes are the smallest or simplest cells. They have no membrane bounded organelles, and their DNA or chromosomes are present without any boundary. It is present or submerged in the cytoplasm. And students, what are protists? Protists are basically unicellular and multicellular organisms. Means this group includes both unicellular and multicellular organisms. यूनिसेलुलर ऑर्गेनिजम्स जो होंगे उनका सेल यूकेरियोट होगा, और जो मल्टी सेलुलर होंगे वो सिंपल ऑर्गेनिजम्स होंगे. And the third one major group is fungi. Fungi, you know that it has both animal and plant-like characteristics. Fungi have cell wall. That characteristics is resemble to plants, but cell wall is absent in animals. And the similarity between fungi and animal is that fungi have heterotrophic mode of nutrition. They are not autotrophic like plants. Third one major group is plant. Fourth one major group is plant, and the fifth one is animals. So students, now clear that the organisms that have been divided into 5 major groups, and that major groups are prokaryotes, protists, fungi, plants and animals. All organisms are made of cells. Either it is a microorganism, it is a unicellular organism, either the cell is prokaryotic, either the cell is eukaryotic, either we are discussing the plants, we are discussing the animals, all the organisms made up of cells. So students, there are 2 basic types of cells. Students, there are 2 basic types of cell. One is prokaryotic and the other one is eukaryotic. So students, what is the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell? Prokaryotic cell is the simplest one. I am repeating again. Prokaryotic cell is the simplest one, and the all double membrane organelles are absent in prokaryotic cells, and their DNA and chromosomes is directly submerged in the cytoplasm. But eukaryotic cells, in the case of eukaryotic cells, nucleus is bounded by a double membrane, and all double membrane organelles are present in the eukaryotic cells. We have a detailed discussion about organelles in chapter number 4. Organelles are basically subcellular structures. I have discussed it in organelle and cell level. So students, now the difference between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell is clear. बेसिक टाइप्स जो है सेल्स की बेटे वो 2 हैं. आपके इससे रिलेटेड शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस भी होंगे असाइनमेंट में. जैसे कि आपका फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन हो सकता है राइट द नेम्स ऑफ द 5 मेजर ग्रुप ऑफ ऑर्गेनिजम्स. फिर आपका क्वेश्चन हो सकता है 2 बेसिक टाइप्स ऑफ सेल्स. तो वो बेटे आपका प्रोकैरियोटिक और यूकैरियोटिक होगा. द ऑर्गेनिजम्स इन फर्स्ट ग्रुप आर मेड ऑफ प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल्स. बेटे जो हमने 5 मेजर ग्रुप्स में से जो फर्स्ट पढ़ा था डेट इज प्रोकैरियोट्स. The organisms in that group are made of prokaryotic cells, while all other groups, okay students, remaining 4 groups जो हैं protists है, fungi है, plants and animals हैं, that all groups have eukaryotic cells. Okay students, now we can see the arrangement of the cells in the bodies of living organisms. We have discussed the 5 major groups, then we have discussed the basic types of the cells. Now we will discuss the arrangement of the cells in the bodies of the organisms. Okay students, cells make unicellular, colonials and multicellular organizations, and the organisms that are formed through these organizations are unicellular organisms. Uni means होता है single, means one celled organisms. Colonial organisms, they remain in the form of a colony. And multicellular organisms, multi means number of cells जो हैं इसमें वो ज़्यादा होते हैं. So students, there are 3 basic type of organization in which the cells are arranged in the body of an organism. One is unicellular, second one is colonial organization, and the third one is multicellular organizations. Now we will discuss each of them one by one. So students, first is unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, as the name you can understand from the name, uni means single, means one. So in unicellular organisms only one cell makes the life of an organism. जो organism है वो just one cell पे consist होगा, and that single cell performs all the life activities that are the requirement of that particular organism. Okay students, for example, bacteria is consist of only single cell, but that cell perform all the basic functions of the cell. So students, only one cell makes the life of an organism. All the life activities are carried out by the only cell. Now you can clear that कि जो life activities हैं जितनी भी हैं उसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है उस ऑर्गेनिजम्स की वो सिंगल सेल ही परफॉर्म करता है. ऑल दैट एक्टिविटीज़ आर परफॉर्म्ड बाय दैट सिंगल सेल. Now what are the common examples of unicellular organisms? Its common example are amoeba, paramecium. Okay students, common examples जो है unicellular organisms की वो है amoeba, paramecium and euglena. Now students, you can see these unicellular organisms in figure 1.4. You can see 3 unicellular organisms in the figure, in which on the left side is amoeba, in the center paramecium is present, and in the right one it is euglena. So these are the examples of unicellular organisms. That organisms are consist of only single cell and all the life activities are performed by that cell. So students, now we will move towards our second type of organization, that is colonial type of organization. Now students, in colonial type of cellular organization, many unicellular organisms live together. but do not have any division of labor among them. So students, now clear that जो colonial type of cellular organization है उसमें भी organisms just single cell पे consist होते हैं. They consist of only single cell but they remain in the form of a colony. It means that 100 unicellular organisms organized themselves in the form of a colony, but each cell perform its own functions. They are independent. They do not depend on other cells for their life activities. It means that they have no division of labor. So students, division of labor पहले भी मैं क्लियर कर चुकी हूँ कि जब हम किसी काम को डिवाइड कर देते हैं डिफरेंट ग्रुप्स में, जिस तरह हमारी बॉडी में हर फंक्शन जो है वो डिवाइड है डिफरेंट ऑर्गन सिस्टम में. जैसे हार्ट का फंक्शन है सर्कुलेशन, स्टोमक का फंक्शन है डाइजेशन, किडनीज का फंक्शन है एक्सक्रीशन. सो देयर इज अ डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर इन आवर बॉडी. But in colonial organization, cells remains together in the form of colony, but they have no division of labor among them. They are independent to each other. Each unicellular organism in a colony lives its own life. अब उस colony में जितने भी organisms होंगे ना, उनकी अपनी life होगी and does not depend on other cells for its vital requirements. वाइटल मीन्स इम्पॉर्टेंट, और वो दूसरे सेल पे डिपेंड नहीं करेंगे अपनी इंपॉर्टेंट रिक्वायरमेंट्स के लिए. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, व्हाट इज़ द एग्जांपल ऑफ colonial organization? Volvox is a green alga. Alga mean algae है that is found in water that shows colonial organization. So students, clear, green color का होता है alga जो water की surface पे रहता है and we call it Volvox. That is the example of colonial organization. Hundreds of Volvox cells makes a colony. 100 cells मिलके Volvox की जो है वो कॉलोनी बनाते हैं. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, आप वॉल्वॉक्स की जो कॉलोनी है उसको फिगर नंबर 1.5 में भी देख सकते हो. आप इसमें देख रहे हो कि नंबर ऑफ सेल्स जो हैं वो राउंड सी शेप में कॉलोनी की फॉर्म में रहते हैं, बट दीज सेल्स परफॉर्म्स देयर ओन फंक्शंस. सो स्टूडेंट्स, व्हाट वी हैव स्टडीड today, we have studied about 5 major groups of organisms. Then we have studied basic type of the cells, that is prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Then we have studied about basic organizations of the cells, that is unicellular, colonial organization and multicellular organizations. We have detailed discussion and we can see the examples of unicellular and colonial type of organization, and multicellular organization we will discuss it in our next lecture. So students, stay safe and sound. God bless you. Allah Hafiz.